Chapter 3.3, Solving One-Step Equations. Today we're going to talk about how we solve one-step equations. We've been working with expressions with variables, and now we're going to work with equations with variables. So first we need to define inverse operations. Inverse operations are operations that undo each other in order to get the variable alone. So addition and subtraction are inverse operations, and multiplication and division are inverse operations. There are also four new properties that you need to be familiar with. They are called properties of equality. There's an addition property of equality, subtraction property of equality, one for multiplication and one for division. What they say is that if you add, subtract, multiply, or divide one value from one side of the equation, you must do the same thing to the other. So think of it like a balance. If I put 4 grapes in this side of the balance, in order to keep the equation balanced or equal, I have to put 4 grapes in this side. If I take out those grapes, whatever I take out from one side of the equation, I have to take out from the other in order to keep the equation balanced. It must always be balanced. So let's see how that applies to example 1. So example 1, x minus 34 equals negative 46. I want to get x by itself. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the addition property of equality. And I'm going to use the addition property because I'm going to add 34 to each side. This is x minus 34. In order to get x by itself, I'm going to add 34 to each side. Now, this allows me to get x now by itself. And negative 46 plus 34, using my rules, for 46 minus 34 equals 12. Negative 46 has the larger absolute value, so my answer is negative 12. Now, can I check to see if that's correct? Sure, let's plug in negative 12 for x and see what happens. Negative 12 minus 34 equals negative 46. Well, we all know that we can add the opposite. So 12 plus 34, 2 plus 4 is 6, 3 plus 1 is 4. So negative 46 is equal to negative 46. So this is my check. Okay, I solved and I checked up here. All right, let's look at example 2, which is going to be a word problem using the subtraction property of equality. Example 2 says, your friend's mountain bike cost $245 more than his skateboard. His mountain bike cost $290. How much did your friend's skateboard cost? So let's think about what we know and what we need to know. So I know that the bike was $290. I know that the skateboard, we're going to use SB for short, is $245 more. What I don't know is S, price of the skateboard. So I'm going to use this information to write an equation. is tells me where my equal sign goes. So the cost of the bike, or $290, is equal to 245 more than the price of the skateboard. So how do I figure out the price of the skateboard? Since I've added this 245, or it's a positive 245, I'm going to subtract 245 from both sides. In order to get S by itself, so S equals $45. So this tells me that the skateboard equals $45. Okay, example 3, moving on to multiplication and division properties of equality. One note before we begin though is when you are working with the variable t, like we are here, please make sure that your t has the little hook at the bottom and does not look like this, because this is a plus sign. So whenever you have the variable t, it needs to be a fancy, more cursive style t with the hook at the bottom. So here I have my problem, t divided by negative 45 equals negative 5. I'm going to rewrite my problem so I have a little bit more room. T divided by negative 45 equals negative 5. In order to get t by itself, I'm going to use the multiplication property of equality, and I'm going to multiply by 45. Now sometimes when I'm working with fractions, I like to write it as 45 over 1, just so that I remind myself that this is in fact a fraction. But on this side of the problem, I'm just going to write times 45. Now, one other note, this is negative 45, so I need to multiply by negative 45 as well, because I need my negative sign to cancel out as well. So 45 and 45 cross cancel, leaving t by itself. So t equals negative 5 times negative 45, which is positive 225, because a negative times a negative is always positive. All right, example 4. 4p, which we know is 4 times p, equals 22.68. So in this problem, in order to get p by itself, I need to divide, which is the division property of equality, because whatever I divide by one side, I have to divide on the other. So my 4's cross cancel, leaving p by itself. P equals, we're going to go over here to my scratch paper, 22.68 divided by 4. To bring down the 6. Goes in 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. To bring down the 8. 7. 5.67. Okay, that's it for examples today. Please complete all of the quick checks and the check your understanding, and I will answer any questions the next time I see you.